I fucking sitting there. I was building out the building maybe at around that time, or we were just moving in. I was just like, why would you? And then I heard the model, and you originally had this co-work, this cool model, right? COVID, whatever. Um, it seems, at least from what I see my conversations with you, and then just visually on digital world and social, you've grown this company significantly. You have these new characters, these Larrys and all these other guys. You've got this, fucking Clary and all these people. You have this awesome team. And humans are the most expensive. It goes generally rent and then payroll, and then that flip flops at some point. And the experienced, sophisticated businesses realize that HR becomes your bane of your existence forever and ever, because human beings are emotional and complicated creatures.
You're married to everybody on your staff.
Would I be accurate in taking a guess that the last couple of years is one of those where entrepreneurs realize you can do two things, but you can't do them at the same time? You cannot increase profitability and increase growth exponentially. Like, these two things generally happen in inverse. I'm going to grow, which means hire, build, lease, blah, blah. So my expenses skyrocket. And generally, it's not immediately a one-to-one of new revenue coming in. You bring in these new people, you've got new systems. Talk to me about the business just from we're spending a fuck ton and we didn't make as much. Like, give people the real fucking look as to what it looks like to grow. Because this thing, what would you say was the year that you had, was it 2018 you kind of started growing exponentially? 2019?
2020.
2020? Okay.
Yeah. So, oddly enough, 2020. So, all right. What you just said, from my experience, is true. I haven't figured out. It doesn't mean it's gospel and it can't be done. It means I haven't figured out how to both grow infrastructure and profit.
I don't think
at the same time.
I don't believe it happens.
So I was recently talking with my mentor about this. I'm like, it's frustrating. It's legitimately frustrating. We were making less money last summer, and the bank account just kept growing. It was great. I'm like, this is sick. Like, what do I do with this money? And the answer he gave me was properly set up a company. Like, your company is out earning your company's ability to continue to earn. And so all of that will ultimately just come crashing down because it won't work.
It won't come crashing down. It will hit you'll hit a ceiling.
And then everybody's burnt out. And it's just like, I think it would have just imploded. I mean, at the time, it was Cleary over there, myself, Larry, Ray, Ryan, who is our director of one-on-one coaching right now, and Pam, who's our director of sales. That was the team, and then we had our one-on-one coaches. But a lot of the profit was coming from the pro side of the business, the education of coaches and gym owners. And that required legitimate infrastructure. We had just started doing it. The other side of the business, we really very well understood what it was and how to do it. So we were flying around the country. We were filming videos in my garage. When we were hosting a seminar, I was phoning a friend, can we use your space? And we just saw that we weren't going to be able to continue doing that. And if we wanted to be the company that people believed could help them become the business that they wanted to be, we needed to be the business that we needed to be. And we couldn't keep filming videos out of the garage. In the winter, it got cold. In the summer,
I remember the videos you sitting on your patio, barefoot.
Yeah.
Again, you and your fucking bare feet, and Coke can, and talking about core strength, and like putting a plate on top of it. And I remember those. And it's so, but again, it was so clean and bootstrapped. It's just like, if 20,000 people watch this over the course of 6 months, does anybody care that it's shot here versus this backdrop?
No, they don't. It's not about that. It's about, we don't have ambitions of being another company that educates gym owners or that educates coaches or that helps people one-on-one get out of pain. Like, we have legitimate interests in fundamentally reshaping healthcare and bringing fitness as the tool to do it. So in order to do that, we have to humanize doctors so they can communicate with coaches. We need to professionalize coaches so they can meet doctors where they're at. And that will empower the individual. I don't believe that we get the credibility to do that on my front stoop. I think that we will still always do videos on my front stoop because it's interesting. It's not a white background anymore. But that cannot be the mainstay. That's like, what do you want for dessert? Front stoop. Okay.
So for you, as you look at it, and we were talking earlier, generally there's periods of growth, and when there's periods of growth, that generally means the company's going to see a downtick in profit and take home, and you generally plan for that. You squirrel away those nuts for the winter type scenario. I did it for 4 years before we moved into a new building, and I knew what upfit and all that was going to be, and then a rebrand. It's going to take me a few years for this thing to catch on before we really start generating that same revenue. Are you guys, where are you in the woods of that whole thing? Well,
right about break even.
Right about break even on that?
So we lost money for a few months in a row, like significant
Which,
money.
by the way, for everyone listening, that's not a bad thing. Like,
No.
every business loses money. I think people hear that and they judge it when they really don't have a full zoomed out lens as to how this actually works.
Yeah, we lost like a Toyota Camry every month for a few months. And it wasn't awesome. It wasn't awesome. I was happy and I don't know what the right word would be, but I was glad that I had the mentorship around me that allowed the company to have the money necessary to lose that kind of money consistently and still exist and exist where there's like, it's never been so uncomfortable that like, oh my God, we got to scale things back. That's never happened.
No layoffs or things like that.
No, we added. But we increased our costs by about $90,000 a month, August of last year, our operating costs. And when we did that, my thought, first time I ever did this before, my thought was, awesome, this is going to boost everything because now we have a staff member for this, a staff member for this, a staff member for this, and they're all great. This is going to be great. And then good staff members come onto the team and they say, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. We need to make all of these things better.
It's not just payroll dollars you were instantly allocating. It was then cleaning up all the shit that they found once they started cleaning up.
Yes, and it's, we don't want to sell people into the shit. So let's try to sell people into these other things while we fix the shit and make it something nice. So costs went up.
Sales were paused.
Revenue went down.
Yeah.
And I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
What the fuck just happened here?